Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here. What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions.
Shalom, Salama, Siemi, Shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. Sorry, family, I was running a little late. I was on the phone with Brother Mike and trying to also get some business taken care of. It just gets hard to concentrate when you're getting bombarded with things, trying to work things on out. Because when your day starts at 5:30 and then you're going through some things, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I have the chat open today. We're going to talk about the current state of affairs. You have some things going on in Israel. You have some things happening in Iran. You have some things going on in Russia and Ukraine. I really wanted to get into this. This is something that there are some things that's going on in Ukraine, and if you didn't know, you really have on the Ukrainian side, you have a blackout of information as Russia had advanced, not just with Russia advancing, but as Russia is going into basically the East Bank per se of the Dnipro River. So their goal is to really cut off the and that's Russian speaking. It's actually a Russian culture, Russian speaking um, population group. So here's some historical facts about Ukraine. Ukraine was actually created in, I believe it was right after the Soviet Union had formed. When the Soviet Union had formed, um, a lot of breakaway regions and things of that nature had happened. It was really there to really break apart um, the Russian Empire. This goes all the way back over 1,000 years. It's like that. It goes all the way back 1,000 years. And let me tell you who's behind it. You guessed it. You guessed it. That nation that looks like the Boot Hill. And then that nation that looks like the Boot Hill, that country, that region, it is Rome. And it started with Russian Orthodoxy, which was more aligned with a Greek Orthodoxy. And then you also had your Roman Papal Orthodoxy. And all that was vying for control of a region and regions that, you're collecting up monopoly pieces with land, and with those land, different rights to minerals and agriculture and things, and people. This was always the play, and always been the play. So, there is a subduing of nations that ended up happening before the continent could be subdued, the African continent. Not everybody was amenable to Eurocentric Christianity. It just wasn't, doing it for folks. You want us to go against these people that are clearly the Most High's people, and look how, when we follow their laws, statutes, and commandments, and we're honoring them and obeying what the Most High is giving them, things are looking good. Yeah, but you need to follow us. Why? Because we said so. There was a subjugation tactic that was happening. This is why they'll say the Dark Ages, and the only thing dark about the Dark Ages is how much they try to hide what was happening in the Dark Ages. They try to hide the enterprise of what was going on. When the Spanish Inquisition happened, and all them boats, you see those manuscripts from Portugal, and all them boats from Spain and Portugal were fleeing south to the unwholesome air of really West Africa. What were they doing? They were catching up with their other Israelite tribesmen. When you had the movements that was happening throughout the world, especially in Northern Africa, the Sahara, because why? Trade routes would be established. What was going on? The same thing that's happening right now. The same reason that you had Denmark getting kicked out of Mali and Burkina Faso. Why? Well, they're just there to steal gold, and they're stealing gold through what? Corporations. We always, the first, to me, the first impressionable movie was done in the early 90s with corporations and the what was it? The dystopian future of America and corporations ruling America. Honestly, that's what's happening right now. You had Mark Zuckerberg said, they were pressured to do what? To enforce things. Why? Because the corporations are the enforcers. Because why? Because everything rules your life through a commodity. Boy, oh boy, does that not sound like RoboCop 3? And now we're about to have dog robots and actually humanoid robots coming to a city near you that doesn't necessarily see your race color, quote unquote, but I'm pretty sure they have a level of melanin detection systems for IR scans, whatever electromagnetic visualization scans that will show the frequency of energy that's resonating from melanin. All of these are coming. These are your current state of affairs. Sister Chantel, shalom. You tried to call, and I was in a meeting. I said I'll try to give her a call back. The day was just...
No, that's fine. That's fine. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Okay, so I kind of feel bad because I haven't been doing my normal, greeting to everybody individually. I really do.
You better stop. Listen, we know you're trying to survive over there in the UK.
I
You,
can't type and run. I'm telling you, I
you
can't
can't
do it.
type and run at the same time. You trying to go from Wi-Fi signal to Wi-Fi signal, so the Met
I
can't
can't do
get
it. My brain ain't wired that way. I'm sorry. No, I just well, to be fair, it's something so trivial, really. It's just I got my nails done, so
it.
yeah, just I had places to go, so I wanted to look nice for the summer. Nothing like, but just
Do
I just
your
need
thing.
else to be
Do your
done,
thing.
looking good.
Listen, everybody, look.
I have
That's what we
literally,
do.
I've been about the children and everything else that, like, my sisters were like, come on, Shan, you need to sort yourself out now. They're no longer babies. Just get your fingers done. So, I just thought, let me treat myself now. So yeah.
What is it? If it can last at least 2 weeks, it's a good investment.
Well, they last a month, so I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I don't have them like dragon long or anything like that. They're not claws. They just look nice and they look pretty, and they're not that. They're just
Oh,
nude.
you better get that animanium claws, for them folks over there. They
I
they
know.
they go
I was
crazy
thinking
over
that.
over an
I was
Arsenal
thinking
game.
that, man. I might have to become Yuriko and just, have some adamantium just put inside and just, you know, come out with my claws like kitty cats.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh. So my question is, with all this stuff that's happening, particularly in Russia,
Mhm.
have you noticed that the media is like radio silent and they're having their regions invaded?
I have noticed that there's been a little bit of silence. Actually, what I was, I told you that I was at Alton Towers over,
Hmm.
and there was I watched. We had on GB News, which they
Yeah.
have like a. Sorry, a second. They have like a YouTube channel as well.
Hmm.
But they were talking about the Democratic Party's little shindig that they had, like, was it 2 weeks ago or something like that? And the guy, the anchor, he turned and he says, now we're gonna take a look at what's going on in America, where they're out there and they're celebrating, where their president is going to be selected, and he's like, I mean, elected. I was like, oh,
So the rest
what?
of the world can see. So the rest of the world can see the farce.
The slip was so massive. I was like, I just. Hubby looked
Because
at
what
me.
are
I looked at
we?
him. It's
Because what
like,
are we? We're still vassal states. We're
yeah,
vassals of to the British, to the London Empire, and that's still under a vassalship to what? To Rome.
to Rome. Yeah, it's the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter,
Hmm.
and then you've got the cousins and the aunties, which is the rest of the European nation. I keep telling people, don't look at this in terms of the nations. Like, if you start looking at it in terms of nations and oh yeah, this nation and that nation, it,
Contemporary. If you look
it's
at it, contemporary.
well, the way I look at it is exactly what it is. It's we're looking at the principalities,
Yeah.
the entities, and just like I was talking to my mum, and I said, just like how the Bible says that Christ, using these terms, but Christ
Hmm.
sits the head of the church, but we know that's the head of Yasharel, but he sits at the head, and
Hmm.
all of us, every single one of us, whether for good or bad, we are all the functions of that body.
Hmm.
And when you see, when we come and we work together, it's like the body working in harmony. It's a well-oiled machine. The body is perfect. It's 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 perfection. But we haven't been like that. We're starting to come together. So the body is starting to get back to how it was. We're kind of like, you know, sort of hooked on McDonald's and kind of sluggish and a little overweight, but we're getting there. But now we're looking around and we're seeing all these other nations they're going into the same kind of state that we was in, that we're coming out and they're going into it. And it's like when you see how let's say, for example, you see what goes on in, like, say, for example, Japan. They've got like a tsunami comes and sweeps away so many of their people. That's so damaging to that entity. It's damaging in the same sense that if you was to have a gash on your leg and bleed out, you're losing blood, right? That's exactly what's happening to these entities. They're losing their loss of their power base, which is the people. The people is their body. You know, how we act as a nation is directly how if we're like, so for example, for us, if we're righteous and we're doing what's righteous, when we're righteous, we're following in the footsteps of Yashua, of not Yashua, sorry, we're following the footsteps of Yahuah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we look the part. They're following in the footsteps of their entities that sits above their nation, and they do what their entities do. You know, so it's like when you see them acting a certain way, it's like this is who they are because that is who governs them. You know, and when they lose people, you're weakening that entity. The fight is real. Like Michael is mashing up these entities. I'm telling you. And it's so funny because I like the nature of the earth. I sometimes look at things and I see things so differently. When I look at like sometimes we look at things and we're like, okay, you know, they want to say, oh, it's climate change. And in a sense, they are kind of right, just not in the sense that they want to make out. The climate is changing. I'm going to use Japan as an example because it is getting battered so badly. It's got everything going bad for it. It really does. You know, its economy, its birth rates, the climate change kind of thing, all this other the stuff that's going for it. I said to somebody, I said, when I look at these things, these natural disasters, as they want to claim, why do we think, when we read the scriptures and it says, men's hearts failing them for fear for the things that are to come on the earth? Sometimes we think, we think of like that film says, don't look up. Maybe that film is telling you don't to look up as a means to kind of coerce you to look up. We're seeing these entities are not from above, they're from below. When the Bible says for things that are to come on the earth, like we need to stop thinking that it's coming on the earth from up. It's coming from the earth from below. Like if you're on the roof of a building, right, and somebody says, yeah, come up, you're at the bottom, you still have to come up. They have to come up to that. And it's the same thing with these entities. I kind of feel like I said to my mom, I said, imagine if, you know, Japan made these people, they made a covenant with their entities. You know, we see like Silence of the Lambs, yeah. Or we see, what's the other one? The dragon. And it shows how the FBI agent goes to see, what's his face? I can't remember his name. Goes to see him to get information because he needs to know how to catch the other villain. He needs information. And I said to my mom, imagine if their ancients did the same thing with those that are under the earth. And they said, we want, they evoked certain, they called on them. They created portals or, you know, just basically a way to communicate with them. And by doing so, it's like, okay, we need you to teach us things, the ancient ways of what they had during the days of Noah, right? And these creatures would have said, okay, but you know, it's always going to be an exchange. Well, what are you going to give me and what, you know, in return? So they have an exchange. But at some point, these people also understand that even though you're sitting pretty, you've had your culture, you've built up your culture, and the world admires it and says, oh, look at their culture, it's so beautiful, it's so perfect and everything. You're coming to the end of that deal. The deal was struck, and now it's like when we see volcanoes and we see earthquakes and we see all these things, we're just looking at the symptom. Imagine if you were, it's something under the ground that's about to emerge. What does the Bible say? It says that, like I said, men's hearts failing them for fear for the things that are to come on the earth. But it also says that the angel is about to open, the angel of the abyss is about to open, he has a key to open the abyss. What if that key has already been opened and we're looking at, like, the key could be, I'm not saying it is, but the key also could be CERN. And
oh boy.
Oh, sorry.
Let's talk about CERN. Oh, another video is about to get taken down.
Sorry. Okay. Scrap that.
Go ahead.
The key could be the key, right? We know what the key is. And they've opened it and they've unlocked it and it's still going. This thing's still going. And as it's going, these entities are trying to come out and trying to come up. And they want what they want. Now, we've seen, I know that there's a few of us here that watch anime and has also watched a lot of old anime. And one of the, it's just so sick, but I wouldn't recommend anybody watching it, but those who have actually seen it, you understand what it is. The Legend of the Overfiend, it's like, it's kind of like there was a scene in there where this entity was coming out from the ocean, and they made a reference saying in the actual cartoon saying that how this entity coming up caused the great earthquake and the great tsunami of I think it was, I can't remember, it was 19 something, I can't remember, but it was like almost 100 years ago, or more than 100 years ago now, and it's like sometimes we see things through the lens of the Europeans and what they have made us look at, but when you remove yourself from it and you start to actually read the scriptures and you read it for what it's saying, and you start to see things that's happening, and you start to pay attention to the mythology of these other cultures and how they interacted with their gods, you start to put the pieces together. Their gods are about to come on the earth. The Bible literally says that. Their own books say that. Their own prophecies have prophesied that that the gods will come back. We have the same prophecy of the once and future king, the prophecy of the prophecy of King Arthur. All these things, and it's like they're all sort of coming together, and it's like to ignore that is, I think, would be very foolish, and that is what the Eurocentric mindset, that is what they want us to do, to ignore these things so that we're left unchecked. Most of us don't realize that we are supposed to be the Most High's instrument of war against these creatures, and the power that we are probably going to unlock at a certain time. This is one of the reasons why they don't want us waking up. This is why they don't want us waking up. So I wasn't actually supposed to be talking about this. I'm so sorry.
No, I was just letting you cook and simmer, and you done served everything. We done ate. And
I'm sorry, guys. I was just,
and there it is.
I just wanted to share what I kind of like sort of discovered or been thinking about and looked into over the past few weeks. No,
we appreciate it. We got Brother Mike on. Brother Mike, I want to play this video real quick. I have this shared. I want to play this video. and I want to talk about these things because this is very interesting. I'll have to see if I'm allowed to say much. I'll need to see if Sister Shar what she may allow me to say in my gag order. But here's this. Why is that important? If you don't know, a container ship was just blown to bits. And we'll read about this story. Let me go ahead. I want to share this story. I'll put that in the attack. I'm going to share this.
Is this another one?
This is Al Jazeera. Look at this. Look at this. Greek tanker attacked in Red Sea appears to be leaking oil. U.S. says. The Pentagon says the Soyunion is a navigational hazard and warns of a potential environmental collapse. What day was that? Well, that was actually yesterday that this article was reported. The Greek flag Soyunion crude oil tanker is still on fire after being attacked by Yemen's Houthi group last week and appears to be leaking oil. The Pentagon has said the vessel is carrying about 1 million barrels of crude oil, according to Pentagon spokesperson Air Force Major General Patrick Ryder. The United States is aware of a third party that attempted to send 2 tugs to the vessel to help salvage, but they were warned away by the Houthis and threatened with being attacked. He told reporters. There's a tank more towards Eritrea. They're like, we'll just do it more towards the side of Africa. If you can see the graphic. Right there in East Africa. And that's the current state of one of the current states of the world, right? You still have the Houthis. They're doing economic damage to that Eastern Mediterranean nation. They're doing economic damage to them. This is why they're trying to go all in and all out. They're doing damage. Shalom, Brother Mike.
Shalom. How you doing, brother? How you doing, Sister Chantel?
Sorry, Shalom. How are you?
Okay.
Sorry it takes me long. I've got my phone tucked away in my apron, so.
All right. No, it's not a problem. I know I heard you earlier, and you saying it's kind of quiet out here in the news world as to things that's what's going on, and it has been quiet for some weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It has. And at the same time, that can be a distraction because people may feel all this stuff and it kind of died down, and people they slow down.
Yep.
All right, we're not as tense.
Do you think
that's
maybe
a
what
distraction?
happened over here was a distraction to what's going on over there? Just to add to that.
Mm-hmm. And so I mean, this here now, who those oil tankers, who owned those?
It was a Greek-owned oil tanker, but you want to know what they don't tell you.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Not every ship is being targeted in the Red Sea. Not every ship is being shot at while traversing the Red Sea. What they are doing is they're targeting ships that has ties, economic ties, contracts, things of that nature to that Eastern Mediterranean nation. So it can be assumed that even though it's Greek flagged, that thing was going over to that place that's trying to fight Hezbollah and the Houthis at the same time. Look, the Houthis like, I don't care. Destroy our ports. They're still doing economic damage.
Yeah,
So,
you could assume
go ahead.
that I was just going to say you could also assume that even though it's Greek flagged, the owners they might they might have the citizenship of Greece, but we know who they really are. It's just like the South African businessman who has ties to what's going on in the Congo. But when you realize who he really is, then you understand who he really is. He may say, I'm from South Africa, but then we know that you're actually from that place.
Yeah, here
Have ties to that place.
let me read this. They love to sneak this towards the bottom of the article here. Houthis military spokesman Yahuah said the vessel was targeted because its operator, Athens-based Delta Tankers, violated its ban on entry to the ports of occupied Palestine. And there it is. It was going to go to its final destination. Look, these folks clearly have the intelligence. They clearly have the operational capacity to target these ships. They're clearly able to discern with some sort of help, more than likely satellite help. More than likely, a country of satellite capability is providing targeting capabilities, because you're not just going to find these ships just via a visual cue. No. Somebody's feeding them information. Some nation or third party is feeding them information, and that third party has some sort of a network of satellite or satellites that's able to be manned, that's able to scan, that's able to provide imagery, that's able to have functions of discerning all of those visual pixelations that occur when you are scanning millions of miles, cubic miles. And whatever is panned in that nadir. So I'm going to lose some people with this ultra technical satellite talk. Because let me tell you how deadly serious that is. If they're able to do that in the Red Sea, what are they able to do over to that Eastern Mediterranean nation? Come on, family. It doesn't take a stretch of the imagination to understand. It's not that they don't want to strike. It's not that they aren't capable of striking. I believe they're capable of striking. My personal opinion. I believe that when they're getting ready to go, as our Israelite northern maple leaf wearing doomsday prepper would say, that day X is approaching. Because why? It's a coordinated activity. because they got to coordinate. You see this? You see this inside jacket? A coordinate. You see the vest? Coordinate.
Say that tomorrow.
Yeah, buddy. So they're coordinating. That's what they're doing. They're coordinating their attacks. Nobody slowed up. Did Iran chicken out? That's so you all can go back to normal. Did all the plebeians go back to normal? Did all the plebiscites, did all the serfs, did all the mental minions go back?
Well, I mean, I look at it that this here. I mean, we are watching world events occur based upon biblical prophecy, and at the same time, it can be a distraction to us. At the same time, while we thinking we're watching and paying attention, but the Most High already told us what we should be on the lookout for and what we need to be doing. It's that beast system. I spoke about this yesterday. We know all of this stuff right here is going to happen. We know this, and the Most High already told us these things. Now we have a system that will shake. It's going to shake the world. It's going to shake up the world, and to see them keep on nudging towards a World War III or whatever the situation, some civil war, so be it. We know it's going to happen. Boom. But then we was warned about a system that's going to come in and is going to put your faith to the test, whether you take that mark or not. That's weird. That's what we've been warned against. That the system, don't worry about it. It's going to happen. I'm just letting you know these are the signs to be looking out for, and you're gonna know I'm on my way. But this beast system, this can be a problem for you, for my people, because if we just take a moment, sit back, and ask yourselves, what is it about my life that it can be they can pull it in part of the beast system. Everything about your life is a part can be about the beast system. Yep. It's all about the control of the money. And that's all I'm seeing right now is the things that's supposed to happen is going to happen, but we should be on a whole different level. Well, and it's not saying that I'm saying prep. Well, let me take that lie back. It is a prepping. It is a prepping. Not saying you go out here and store food, shoes, clothing, and all that stuff. It's all about what is your life about, and what is some things that is it the word to say what is it that you can live with or without? Because the way this state. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, brother Mike, let me. Sorry to interrupt you, but well, you know that we're preppers, don't you know? We're preppers, eh? And we've been doing a different type of prepping on these channels. We may not be having the Geo farm or the Echo farm, but
sound like a mixture of him and Obama.
We're prepping on the continent. We're building the preps on the continent. Brother Mike is prepping. I'm doing a little bit of prepping at some high levels. We're prepping. We're preppers.
If you don't have any money, then it's not terrifying. No. Let me see that. He said, somebody cute comment. If you don't have any money, then it's not that terrifying. No, that's not always the case.
It's
Um,
gonna still be terrifying. I mean, but
right.
here's the funny thing. I don't know if anybody's ever been to slaughterhouses. Has anybody ever been to a slaughterhouse?
Yeah, I've
Has
been in one of
anybody ever?
those.
Yeah, you smell the funk, right, of the
Yeah.
slaughterhouse. You smell
I try
the
to
bile.
avoid those on Tuesdays.
All right, so come on, follow me with this. Follow me with this. What are they doing to the cattle in the slaughterhouses? Do you think that they're getting them afraid? No. Do you think that they're agitating them and riling them on up?
Mm.
No. No, they're
Trying to keep them
feeding
as
them,
calm
they're
as
patting
possible.
them down, they're keeping them calm, and then they take them on out and they roll them on through. They close the door behind, and then they pop them in the head with the gun
Mhm.
that they don't see it coming, and then they're expired.
Yep.
You know, it reminds me of I tell you what it's more like. You know the what's that really high price? Is it Kobe beef in Japan?
Wagyu,
Where they stroke the cow, they talk with the cow, they sing to the
yes,
cow, they
yes,
soothe the cow. That is
yes,
probably more like what we have been going through, and what we,
yes,
not just us, but as a society, like both Jew, well, Yehudim and Gentile, like we've been stroked and lulled and you know, sweet talked into whatever. And then when it comes down to it, they'll even gently take us to the slaughterhouse. And like Lauren Hill says, killing us softly.
they may lay some flowers at
Yeah.
the spot that the
You, you,
cattle little thing goes through and does the damage. Yeah, go
let me
ahead,
let me
brother
let me
Mike.
see, this is the thing. You keep saying when you're at the bottom, it can't get any worse. Those are facts. Where do you live at? Cute comments. Where do you live at? Because I know
Nah,
for a fact. Oh, he talking about, well, he or she is some that those are facts.
Mike,
No, it's
Mike,
not a fact.
Mike,
And listen,
Mike,
there's some places, some things that I could. No, sorry, go on, Karis, go on.
Mike is about to show you some photos of him in the village that he's on at. Listen,
Yeah,
Mike,
yeah.
Mike is here. Mike is here on his 15-minute break because in the next 2 hours he has to go back and forth to the well, so his spot can have some water running in it while the electricity is on.
No, that's the thing. I mean, we can talk that stuff,
During rainy
especially if you.
season. During
Yeah, I
rainy
mean,
season.
right. I mean, if you in the United States and you talk about you looking at your situation, but the scripture says something totally different according to that person's comment.
Mm-hmm.
You're not at the bottom yet. You get to the bottom,
Nah,
you're not there yet.
nah, homie. Listen, when you go to the continent, you see what the bottom is. Look,
Oh
the
yeah,
bottom done fell out. Ain't no bottom,
yeah.
it just fell out. The abyss.
And they continue to live with it. Now, if you coming from the United States, the UK, things of that nature, yeah, it's going to cause for you to get used to it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's going to. But here, I mean, if you want to talk about no, you need to go ahead and go into the village, and you go see. Well, even though you come down here, you're not at the very bottom. You haven't seen the
Yes.
worst.
Mm-mm.
You haven't. You ain't seen the worst.
No, we're not fear mongering. No, this is the reality, and nobody wants to talk about reality. And then it's fear mongering. Oh, it's fear mongering. No.
Can I say something to that? I really, it's a pet peeve of mine when I hear people talking about fear mongering. You're fear mongering. You're fear mongering. Would you prefer if we said nothing? You want to hear smooth
Exactly.
things? Like the very fact that we are where we are today. You've had Karis, Yakoba, Sister E. You've had all of them telling you about all of this that was going to happen, especially Yakoba from like way back before he even opened up, before there was even a chat. before you could even come, before there was even lives. Like he would do his, do his presentation and just put the video out, and we'd watch it and everything, and leave our little comments in the, our little sayings in the comments. He's been saying that for like from day dot, and people were like, "Oh, you're fear mongering." We're here now. If he didn't put this out, we would be completely skittered. Like just we would be spazzing, trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand why people say fear mongering. Are you afraid? Why are you so scared? If you know who the Most High is, why are you afraid?
Yep.
They don't want to lose the system that they're in right now.
Yep.
That's what that's about.
They may not.
Listen, I like my food and everything. I like my creature comforts.
Yeah.
I like my creature comforts. I'm not gonna lie or play at that. But at the end of the day, man, like those creature comforts are going to get lost, and look, they're going to get taken away from you anyway. They will.
Do y'all remember in Ukraine, right? In 2022, February 2022, I'm on this channel. We're talking about this. We're talking about how the students over there that was doing an exchange program from Africa, from parts of Africa, different countries. One day, they're in class and they're literally being told by their professors, go get your stuff and leave. They were still in their lab coats as they're doing their labs, as they're doing their exams. And they had to get things within like 2 hours and try to coordinate rides, and they were on the road. And they had to link up with other Africans to be able to get out of there so they could go home. Their world changed and was flipped upside down. Yeah, even though they didn't grow up there, even though, they were just there to do their training, guess what? They thought, well, we're in a relatively safe country in Europe and nobody ever, does anything here.
This is Europe. Nothing like that happens in Europe.
Come on now.
The global south gave them the bombastic side eye for that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because you want to know why? They were literally telling them on the news. We were all watching. We were all waiting. We were all preparing for it. Do you remember that? We were like, War Watch. I think I still have videos on that. Look it on up. 2022, we were talking about this. And what ended up happening? Do you realize that when things went down, the news did not report on it for over 48 hours? It took over 24 hours just for images to be released on social media. So you think
yes, I remember that
to prepare people?
Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for people releasing things, we would never even know what's going on in the Congo.
Yep.
But we need truth. We need people to tell us what's going on. Like who wants to go to their doctors and just be told that everything's all hunky dory when you're actually dying? Especially if you have the capability to halt and maybe reverse what's happening to you. You want to be told by your doctor, by your physician, that everything's okay. Continue doing what you're doing. Because I'm not gonna scare you. I'm not gonna fearmonger you. I'm just gonna tell you what you want to hear.
And then it's gonna be the same people. Why did nobody tell me that? Because here's the thing: in war, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to know the truth. In war, the dumb ones die first. It happens. I'm sorry.
They usually tend to be the ones running into danger.
Yeah, because
we know who those are.
And that's really what happens. Like, you don't even understand how many images I've had in my mind of seeing that on video from things captured, And yep, it's civilians that no, they shouldn't be going anywhere, but there's nobody to direct them, and they go right into a blast zone, and they get caught up in the blast. They get deleted.
But that's the sad thing about it, though, is people, they say that, let's just say they say they religious people, and we know how we could take that with so many grains of salt and black pepper. But when you have scriptures out there, and the Most High, and some of it he get technical, some of it he does not. I mean, what all you have to do is just use your imagination. When you're talking about a system that wants to control everything that you nearby say and do, so just use your imagination, and you go understand, and you can, nobody do not have to scare you. You can scare yourself if that's the case. All you got to do is use your imagination.
Mm-hmm. And
this is where we are.
Let me tell you, the way them people think is way more scary than anything you're going to hear here. The way that they think about you, me, and everyone else is way more scary. It's so scary, it's demonic. It'll put what do you like to say, Mike? What will put down your spine?
Shiver.
It'll put a shiver down your spine.
And this is where we at. I mean, either we want to take the warning and apply it, and start. First it has to be mental. It got to be mental first, and then we got to start putting it into action. I mean, what things can I do to put things in place once this beast system kicks in? I know I don't want that mark, because I would not be able to buy nor sell. So now, if I can't buy or sell, I need to make sure I have my own food. I mean, and trust and believe, you're not going to have everything. Somebody else go have this or that. How can I link up with other brothers and sisters with the same mindset? Because he or she cannot buy or sell. You'll be surprised how much of the system we are in. We're already in the bowl. It's just a matter of them just turning a switch saying, hey, you in the beast system. If you don't want to be in it, you need to get out right now.
Yep. And don't think that's not coming. Listen, folks are literally losing their jobs. They shut down.
Yeah.
They shut down. What did they shut down? They said like 6,000 nurses fired.
Come again? 6,000 nurses.
Yeah, recently there's about like 6,000 nurses fired. I think it was somewhere in the northwest, if I wasn't mistaken. Folks, hospitals are losing. They're losing money.
And that sound like a plot. It's like, all right, shut these hospitals down. We need some people to be deleted. We need to see some bodies laying in the street for them to shock the people that's walking by, and they go see, hey, something is not right. And when people get shocked, what do? They panic. It sounds to me, I mean, just like what you said, their mindset is so demonic. If this is what they got to use to get your attention in order for you to get into their system, if it takes that fear for that to happen, so be it. Let that fear be. I mean, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that you came upon a lifeless child, you just laying there. That's something to wreck your nerves. This is what we are in front of right now. Now, call it fear. Call it a fear factor all you want. We're talking about reality and what's on the other side of the street. Well, matter of fact, it's not even the other side of the street. It's the bowl that you're already in. That's where we at, bro.
Yeah, because I remember even Sister Fateo was talking about this. Nurses that were getting laid off at the Oregon Health and Science University, which is basically their teaching, their medical hospital, their medical system, one of their biggest medical systems there in Oregon.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And what type of work do they do there, Karis?
There are nurses. There are nurses there.
All these nurses. I remember a couple of years ago, man, you had so many people going to school to be a nurse. They said they had a shortage of nurses. Now they laying them off.
And that's not just here. Remember, there are hospitals. There's they said between 600 and 700 hospitals that are getting ready to close down here in the United States. Here in the United States.
You scaring me, brother Karis.
I know.
You fear mongering.
I'm a fear monger. I never said I wasn't. I never And look, if preparation, is defined as that, then call me the prepper. Call me the Floridian orange prepper. But that's what it is. Look, we're not just going to be running all crazy. The Most High gives us plans. He gives us understanding of how to do what, of how to prepare.
And he keeps everything in order.
And he does it in order. Come on now, Mike.
Yes.
Come on now.
He keeps it in order.
He keeps it. Listen, I gotta be careful of what I say because Sister Shar has me under gag order, so I do not jeopardize our prepping because we got to prep to make it through the day. No. All right, let me get into this one right here. Rostov. Fire, oil, what is happening? Folks are not going to be able to move. What are they trying to do? Contain movement. It's a steady containment of movement. Oh, guess what? We are going to have war. What happens in war? Guess what? People have to stay still because if they stay still, we don't know who's the enemy combatant and we don't know who's an actual civilian. So, it's best to just be where you're at and whatever provisions you need, it'll be provided by the government. So they say. So they say. On top of that, you got the triple E mosquito virus. It sounds like a WWF move that mosquitoes are slamming people into the grave. I don't know. On top of that, monkeypox. Is that another germ warfare that's being utilized because they're losing Africa? And, you've had a senator saying it, you had a congressman saying it, and you've had other officials from other European countries saying that they're losing control of the continent. So, is this another biological warfare attack? It'll be interesting if they go through and they look at the components of the virus and see how that's manufactured. I'm just saying.
If you can't have it, if I can't have it, you can't have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's their mentality. Childish stuff. Childish.
So I've been saying that from the time of Alexandria when they burnt the library. They couldn't take everything, so what they do, they burn it. What they do to the temple, they burn it.
Yeah.
Whatever they cannot possess, they destroy.
They burned the books in Timbuktu. They're burning the books. They're in the Spanish Inquisition. Basically the Inquisition that happened in Europe with our folks. They even burned down the towns here in America.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
and look, you not just saw a display of what they did over here.
Yeah. And you see, they're trying to burn down that person's house and burn down literally and burn down a Holiday Inn Express that was housing refugees with people still in it. Come on now. Come on now. We're not our forefathers. We're nothing like them. So you're telling me that your display had nothing to do with your forefathers. I think that was exactly how your forefathers went down. And now we were able to see it with our very own eyes in this generation playing out. Just saying, they convicted themselves with what? With their own actions. With their own actions.
But their fear mongering is different. Their fear mongering is it's an action. They always have action. We just speak in scripture. They have action with their fear mongering, and there's some people that get deleted from their fear mongering.
Yep. When they get
That's 'cause
mad, go ahead, Sister Chantel.
I was going to just say, because we follow the precept of who we are. We speak that word. They rush in. What's that saying? Fools rush in where angels thought fair to tread. They rush in. They are. They act. We react. But before we react, we say that word first. That's why they fear. They fear us more. That's why they can get upset. Look how many TikTok videos we see where they get upset, where we're just speaking the truth to the things that they do.
I know.
It's
and
crazy.
Then when they get caught on camera, they always try to say that's not real. That's AI. That's not real. That's AI.
Now they've got something to help them in their life.
Then when it's caught on multiple cameras, then it's it's not our fault. It was a mental break.
Yeah. Or I was only 13 when that happened. I didn't know any better. There was a 14-year-old that was laid to rest.
I had a mental anguish. I had a mental episode. I checked myself into rehab. I had all the excuses that they have that we never get afforded those opportunities at all.
Anywhere.
Never get afforded those opportunities. Oh, tell us about that mental break. I can empathize. I've been on the edge a couple of times. Let's give Sally and Bobby, let's give them the grace. What does Romans chapter 7 say? What does Acts, they're just quoting all scriptures that don't even, what does Philemon say?
They have a mental breakdown because Starbucks is not had got their order wrong.
Yep.
Oh my God! They put full fat milk in. Ah!
Man, they were having mental breakdowns because they were being forced to wear a mask.
Oh, and they're equating that to slavery. Oh, the filthy cheek of these people. I wanted to just line them all up and give them a dry slap across their faces. You cheek! How dare you? And I just think to myself, it's okay, it's fine.
Well,
it's coming. It's coming.
That's going to be an I mean, if you've been catered all of your life, and then if you're talking about if you got that going through your generation, sure, well, yeah. It don't look too good. I mean, and when you're that particular lifestyle of being catered has like hit rock bottom. Yeah, that's to be that person on the 20th floor standing outside the window because they can't take it. That's, I mean, what if I can't have this particular lifestyle? I need to self-delete. And I seriously believe we're going to see a whole lot of that. Because they're looking at our lives. Oh, I cannot live like no, not like, oh no, I do not want to. What those people went through, I do not want to go through that. I mean, what was that, man? The 1920s when the stock market crashed. Was that the 1920s?
Yes, yeah, late 1920s. Yep.
Hold on, Mike, did you say what those people went through? I don't want to go through that, but then with the same breath, they turn and say that we didn't go through nothing.
Oh, yeah, they're going to say that all the time. Oh, Gary, you tell me you love black people, then you become you're a racist then because you love black people. I mean, that's their mentality. I mean, girl, please, the stuff that they talk about go in one ear and out the other. They know they're not losing the grip. They lost it. They can't grip us no more.
They lost it. No, you can tell they lost it when every other week you hear President Ibrahim Traore, going through an assassination attempt, a coup attempt, all sorts of ridiculous stuff. Let me get to this article, and then we'll tell you how they keep losing it. This is Al Jazeera again. I put this in the chat a little bit ago, about 10 minutes ago. Fire rages at oil depot in Russia's Rostov after Ukraine drone attack. The strike on a depot in Kamensky district comes amid an ongoing blaze at an oil storage facility in Prolatarsk city. So a Ukrainian drone attack has set an oil depot in Russia's southern region of Rostov alight, the authorities said. On Wednesday, regional governor Vasily Gulubev confirmed the overnight strike, saying on the Telegram. What did we say about Telegram? Telegram is Dukov's, the Russian-born billionaire that owns Telegram, and they're now trying to get rid of Telegram because why? Because they're trying to cut off information. Information warfare is now beginning. You're starting to see that.
Yeah, they don't like that young black brother. They do not like him at all.
Oh, he's not black.
I mean,
no, he's Russian.
No, I'm not. I'm talking. I thought you were talking about the brother.
Because we're going to get back to Ibrahim, because let's see how this all
ties. Okay.
What's Russia doing? Russia is providing really security for Ibrahim Traore and basically they can't go at him with force, so they're trying to go at him with the onesie twosies. Who can we pay off? Who can we do this? Who can we do that? And let me tell you, they're failing left and right, because there's more people that actually want freedom no matter what than those that want to be controlled again, enslaved again. This is why this isn't working. On top of that, the 400 years are over. That's it. I'm sorry. The curses are reversing.
That's the big one.
The curses are reversing. I'm sorry. We're reaching out. We're talking to our brothers and sisters on the ground, on the continent over there. The curses are reversing. He's done more for the people of Burkina Faso, and that's just not including Burkina Faso. I'm telling you, that also includes the Sahel, than any other contemporary leader on the African continent in the last 50, 60 years. In the last 50, 60 years, yes. That is actually a true statement.
That is.
And you know how easy it was for them to delete leaders? I mean, a few years, go back 20 years. I mean, if a leader was not from Africa, he's from Africa, and he was not in line with the West, it was easy.
You don't even need to go back that far. You don't even need to go back that far. The only reason I said it was easy because it was good for them. I mean, they had access. And I know,
now,
but I'm saying like even with the what's his face? Was it Magufuli in Tanzania, where they got rid of him because he didn't want to go along with their
agenda. He didn't want to go along with the the lollipop agenda, and
So
he
they
said
bumped him
no.
off.
He said, "Nah,
And
we're gonna treat this with natural remedies and things of that nature." And the man was gone less than a month later.
with natural
What
juice
what
and
year was that?
berries.
What year was
This is
that?
2020. This
Yeah,
is 2020. This is during the time of the great shutdown,
yeah,
Uh-huh.
you know? And then not it wasn't just him, because they came after my man in Madagascar as well, but he managed to escape it.
yeah. He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Madagascar was like, "No, we ain't trying to deal with any of that." There's a couple countries, and then some other countries like, "All right, we'll acquiesce." But what they did was they just kept whatever solution they had, and they just threw it away. They threw it away. That was it.
Mm.
And do
Well,
you
we
understand in that whole context of that whole problem set? Because so this is what I'm writing about, family. This is my last academic paper, which is my dissertation. That's what I'm writing about. It's East Africa. This is why they're leaving. That not in East Africa is really symbolic of the barometer of Africa. You're going to have some of your extremes in Burkina Faso in terms of being a forerunner of things. You may have some extremes in South Africa being forerunners of things. You have it in Ethiopia, in the northeast area, not so much in northern Africa, the Saharan states. Not Tripoli, Tunisia, Libya, Algeria, Morocco, and Egypt. The Berbers. But boy, oh boy, you have that in East Africa. Well, there's the gateway. There's your gateway right on the Indian Ocean, right there with China, right there towards Russia, by way of the um, Persian Gulf, by way of Iran through the Caspian Sea. You have India. That's really your BRICS, because just south of you is South America. Or excuse me, South Africa. Then that goes over into South America, Brazil. So that is a major tide that's turned, because if you're already losing on the relationship warfare in West Africa, East Africa to me was always that, that's their last really colonial, struggle. Well, you're bad, but you're not as bad as the Sahel. You're not as bad as, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Chad, Guinea. Oh, those are bad. Yeah, you're bad, but at least we kind of, gave you something. At least we kind of showed you something. Not all of it, but you got some of it. And that's literally what it is. Who's positioned in the grime? Hey, at least it only goes to my ankles rather than it go up to my chin. You're still in the same sludge. Just saying. And this is what's happening. Burkina Faso is like, we're not trying to be in the sludge anymore. And that is a major threat to the powers that are not being anymore in this global system. Why do you think they're so afraid about the New World Order? The New World Order. No, we've been in the New World Order and it's been terrible. Their world order has been terrible. This was not the world order that the Most High had set up. This was the kingdom of the Antichrist.
Well, the new world order has been America, like I've been saying. The new world is America.
Exactly.
So
Now,
them constantly saying the new world order, it's like a It's another distraction because it's
It's a
like,
misnomer, right? It's
yeah,
a misnomer. It's a mislabeling. Well, yeah, but we don't want to say it's a new world order, but it really is. And then, when you get to the global reset, when they say the reset, no, that's when we go back. That's when we come back, and that's when we're back in the land as the Most High had promised us. We're out of the lands of our captivity.
what they're
That's
fearing
it.
is the beast kingdom that's rising.
That's a fear monger.
But
That's a
you know
fear
what?
monger.
Now the only thing that I question about that beast system, it would, I mean, from my reasoning, it's just mine. I'm not saying I'm correct on this. It would appear that the Most High would take us out of our captivity, put us back in our own land, and then the beast system start.
No, no. The
I mean,
beast system
talk to
is,
me.
to me, the beast system's already been here. It's just that Babylon rides
No,
the beast.
well, no, I'm talking about when it gets to the point where you cannot buy or sell unless you have that mark. That's the system I'm talking about.
What has the dollar been about?
Hmm?
What is it? What has been the dollar about?
I don't call. I mean, I don't call. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't call that as a mark, though. I mean, because I mean, we all use the
Yeah.
dollar. It seems like.
What do people
Mhm.
literally die over? They don't die over gold, man. They die. Well, yeah, they die over gold. But now these folks die over the dollar. What do they call it? The almighty dollar.
The Almighty,
Yeah.
that's
Almighty
blasphemous
dollar.
as well.
Where
I
can that
mean,
dollar be?
but this system, man, it has a mark with it. That's what I'm talking about.
What do
This
you,
is this is a system
know what?
that's you're going to choose to have.
Do you know before the euro, do you know what the monetary value? I think it was either of like the Netherlands or Germany. It was called the mark, the Dutch marks,
The Deutschmark,
Deutschmark. Yep, that was a
Deutschmark,
mark.
yeah.
hmm
Okay.
It's just a device. It's just currency.
All
We
right.
just think of mark as you know the Eurocentric, hyper spiritualized over like ethereal world of it's going to be this and that. Yeah, there's going to be a level of control because their lockdown is going to be worse. But now
Uh-huh.
make no mistake about it, we've been in the beast system because why? Because these nations have what? Devoured us. Yeah. Is it going to be a literal mark? Yes. Because the
All
beast
right.
system has not necessarily been and unleashed to its potential. Basically,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
basically,
Hey,
it's
that's what I'm saying. But this
but
one,
Mike,
my
Mike,
go ahead. Go ahead.
does not the whore ride the beast? You see what I'm
The
saying?
horse still riding the beast, and the
Yes.
beast is the
It's just
beast has allowed her to have some level of control, but the beast is still a beast. A
yes.
beast, by sorry,
We're
by its
not
very
at
nature
that
is
level yet.
untamable.
Yeah, we're not at
Sorry.
that level yet because once the whore gets thrown off and trampled by the beast, there's mechanisms happening. We go back home,
All right, but
right?
this is what I'm saying to you though. I mean, before you just said, let me just go back. I'm asking a question as to when, because the Most High said that His people will be leaving with
With
goods and
treasure.
thing. All right,
Yes.
yeah. But
Why?
now, so now, how
So
can you be? This what I'm saying. No, but this what I'm
yeah,
saying.
go
How
ahead.
is it that you can be in a system, a beast system, where you can, if you don't have that mark, you cannot buy nor sell. You see what
That's
I'm
a good
saying?
question. That's a good question that honestly the Gentiles are going to be figuring it on out. Because when that happens, when that kingdom happens, guess what? We're back in our land. That's how
That's
you
that. I
figure
mean,
on
now,
that.
that's
Don't
what
even
I
worry
that
about
was
it.
that was my understanding.
Yeah,
That
yes,
right
we're
there was
back
my
in the
understanding.
land.
I
Why?
think
Yeah,
that's
Because
what
that's
Mike
the
wanted to
judgment.
know as well.
Yes. Yeah,
yeah.
that's their judgment. Because why?
Mm.
Because they got given over to what? Their depravity. Hey, I don't care about the scriptures anymore. I just care about, I gotta eat. Why do you have to eat? Because dang, they don't took away all of the folks that was that worked everything in these privatized prison corporations. Did you not
Yes,
see that? Did you not see that Yahuah was even talking about it? The brother
that,
that had been that
mhm,
literally had to pick cotton.
yeah. And they want to
Like,
say there's no
yeah,
more slavery.
come
Slavery
on,
ended.
come on. So
Hmm.
what do you think is gonna happen? Man, they're like, oh, we're gonna be too good to pick cotton or anything else. We got robots. And they're gonna be controlled by robots. So if you're gonna be controlled by robots, guess what? You're gonna have something electronic in you to identify you and the places that's deemed right necessary for proper identification, whether your head or your hand. They're already doing it right now. Look, put your palm up to these little readers.
I don't know about you. I don't put my palms up, and I don't stick no eye out it either.
Well, isn't that what they're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, I know they trying to do it, and they got some.
I
They
mean,
got some of these African brothers and sisters here to get into. What is that? Like it's like a ball or something. And
exactly.
they was giving them $50 to do it.
Hmm.
And if you broke, yeah, you know they you know they
Because
did it.
why? They're trying to get them ready. It's an indoctrination. Hey, well, I know that our brothers and sisters are coming back home, but why can't we just do this and do that? Look, don't think that the Most High's kingdom is built overnight. No, it's going to take a couple generations. Because why? Because there's a lot of folks that's been heavily influenced by this beast system, and they will want to have a beast system. And then we're going to be saying, why do we need a beast system when we got all the gold, when we got all the silver, when we got all the resources? They need to have our stuff, and we're not going to be taking nothing from them. That's what they're afraid of. Their
Um,
nations, their lands are going to be the ones that get subjugated like that. That's always been their biggest fear, because they know that that's literally what happens next. That's why they're so mad about these series that black folks are awakening. We're not black. We're Negroes. What does that mean? We are Israel and Judah. Shout out to brother Ron at Truth Unedited. That's why they're having such a conniption, because they have to confront their next system, not our system,
this,
theirs.
yeah. And imagine being so uh, agitated by the word Negro, but you want to say the other N word, but you understand that there's a connotation with the word Negro. You understand now that because of that word has led us in other places. So you get really agitated when you hear us use that word. Oh, we don't want to be called we don't want to be called black anymore. Well, you can call us Negro. Well, that's just like the other word. So why do you break your neck to say it if it's that hurtful? These
Mm-hmm.
people are about to go into their captivity, and that this when you see when they we used to as SDA we used to be taught that we're going to be going into. They used to make out like Jacob's trouble and the great tribulation was one of the same. But one of the things that they did teach is that they're going to go through the great tribulation. They didn't run from that. They knew they were going through the great tribulation. But
Yep.
they was like, everybody that is trying to be a Christian, a God-fearing Christian, was going to go through the great tribulation. And they said, we're not going to be raptured out of here until when Jesus comes. Then he'll, whatever. But they understood that they were going to go through it.
Yeah,
And
because now the doctrines are what? Pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib,
post
rapture.
trib, yeah.
It's like, okay, so the Most High is going to have gates. Okay, well, I didn't make the pre-trib. Maybe I can get on the rapture boarding flight, and right in section 2. I missed section 1. Let me see if I can do section 2. I mean, at the worst, section 3. You know, It's just
The
it's
gates are now
nonsense.
open for post-trib flights. Please
Exactly.
be at the necessary section. Thank you.
Get
Ding
your
dong dong.
get your rapture boarding passes ready. I mean, it's really sad. The saddest thing is there are folks that were literally trying to sell that mess. That's horrible.
I mean, you got. I mean, they don't feel that they should be up on the judgment. And then they feel, hey, that was my ancestors who did that, and I had no parts of that. I
But we don't
like
need to
black
judge
people.
them for their ancestors. We just judge them for what they're doing today. And there's plenty of it. That's the thing. It's like I find it so funny. They kept saying that during the George Floyd thing, there's like, oh, you can't judge us for what our ancestors did. And the Most High's like, okay, I'm just gonna literally make you reveal yourself. And
Hmm.
now it's like they can't even hide. That's why. Why do you think they want to talk? They're literally coming against each other.
Yes.
We don't even need to do anything now. We can just sit back and just like our African sisters are literally hosting videos, showing TikTok videos of them calling them out.
Hmm.
Ain't it wonderful? We don't even need to do anything anymore. Just
No,
leave
we
them
don't.
destroy themselves
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
was prophesied anyway.
Hmm. Yeah. Jeremiah 16 and 19. I mean, for real, it's a lot of these things that we are going through.
Wait a minute.
We're supposed to go through this. I mean, but we're going through it because, like, literally, Mike and I are seeing the light on the other side of this tunnel. We're seeing the light on the other side of the tunnel, and we can't even tell you how we're seeing the light on the other side of the tunnel because we're not even allowed to share that with you. But it's closer than what people think. It really is.
If you ever want me to tell the truth, all you gotta do is get me kind of drunk. It don't take much. A
Thing.
wine cooler, then I can get slippery at the tongue.
Oh my goodness.
No, we can't divulge that right now. But
No,
we
but
hoping very soon.
but it's very interesting to see how all these things are lining up because I had to recount this last night as I'm talking to our volunteers at Quest Unite Africa. You know, when I first started this channel, I didn't want to do right ministry. The traditional ministry. Oh, you're going to be ministering, you're going to be doing this and that. No, because now you see the connotations of what ministry is with, our people and a lot of that Eurocentric witchcraft that has been assigned to it. So that was always off-putting in my spirit, always. But I said, Father, I'm going to just trust you and obey you, and I'm going to open my mouth. And then as I opened my mouth and just started talking, and I do it every so often, then I do it, I got on a routine. And I mean, listen, if you're coming here, these last Monday, 2 Mondays that I don't come on anymore. Now you're seeing me actually I had ramped down. And I was asked to ramp down by my board at Quest Unite Africa because they were like, Karis, you're doing too much. Because I had burnt myself out doing stuff. Not being able to sleep, half eaten. It was bad.
Mm-mm.
And what it was that we were already getting close to not the end, but really the beginning. But this journey that the Most High had put me on, it was not just unique to me. This is a journey that we're all going through. And it's a journey that you literally have to put your whole heart, mind, body, soul into this. You have to forsake literally everything. to follow him. And literally, it's like you lose it all to literally gain it all. And when I say that, man, I'm telling you, it's been truly
Fire.
amazing.
Yes, that is so true.
because
Mm.
because where Mike and I and where the folks at Quest Unite Africa are sitting right now, if you could only understand what is happening, it would truly blow your mind. And nobody did it on their own volition. I didn't do this by myself. Mike didn't do that. Nobody here can sit up and say, "Oh, it was all me. It was me, me, me." No, everybody that was here said, "You know what? We're going to count the calls, and we're just going to continue to move, and we're going to continue to move. Yes, we're going to get kicked in the stomach. Yes, we're going to be trampled on. Yes, we're going to be having all sorts of darts of flames thrown at us. Yes, we're going to be doused in gasoline and set on fire. But guess what? We're going to do everything for his glory."
And that is a test within itself.
Yep.
That is a test.
And we did that. And we're doing that. We're literally at, and I said we're literally at the final the final stage of this trial. Man, all we gotta do is now wait. We're not gonna be waiting for a few weeks or a few months. We just have to wait and give the Most High praise. Because why do I say that? I say that because you want to know why? We're now expecting. You know what I'm saying? We already done pulled into the hospital. We don't took the wife up to get prepared for labor and delivery. And I'm now out in the hall just waiting. I'm calling the family. I'm letting them know that the expected of a beautiful delivery, of an awesome delivery. I'm ready to be called in by the nurses and doctors to help see the wife through, to deliver the child, to help with the pushing. I'm not doing anything. I'm just being there, encouraging, praising. For what? For a delivery to occur, a miracle to occur. And then when it happens, as the father, as the husband, I'm just seeing it and being in awe. And this is literally what the Most High is doing for his people. He's just telling us, "I got this. I got this. I got this. Just relax. I got this." You know how many like scuffles and shuffles and everything else? Man, we're gonna get on out here and something else is gonna be dusting up. But at the end of the day, we see that this thing, it's not just for our glory, for our benefit. It's for the Most High's. And it's to show our people, all those that call on the name of Yahuah through his son, Yahushua HaMashiach, his power. We went from social media to doing things on the world stage, literally in less than 2 years. Who has that type of testimony? Who gets to have that type of testimony? All the whiles I'm asking for financial support. The Most High is going to provide, but we have to talk. We have to ask. We have to communicate. What we're doing was that we had to learn how to communicate with our brothers and sisters on the continent. If I didn't know how to ask for you all's help here on this platform, on Covenant Awakenings, then guess what? I wouldn't have been able to be equipped to ask for help from our brothers and sisters on the continent. I literally had to be broken of that pride.
You've been broken, man. Please, I'm just like my grandmother. My grandmother, she was a man. No, you couldn't get my grandmother to ask for nothing because she knew how to go back and get it. But when she got to that point, I was so shocked. I was shocked that my grandmother asked my uncle to borrow $50 so she can get something to eat, and he felt that as he took it as a privilege that my grandmother was asking him for some money so she can get something to eat. And my auntie called me and said, and I drove over to my grandmother. I said, "Mama, what's going on? Uncle Max said you borrowed some money." It was shocking to me, brother. And I'm just like my grandmother. If there's something I need to do, I need to learn, I go out and I learn it. I went to school for so many different trades, it ain't even funny. And you talking about asking somebody for something? No, I was the person that people used to come to and ask for. I was the one that was giving it out.
Yes. Because when you had it when you had it like that, man, all right, let me hook you up with $100. Ain't no thing to me. I got you. Look, hallelujah. Thank you, Father. I got the money in my pocket. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here it
Man,
is.
it was not a thing. It was not a thing. My family knew exactly who to call. And my friends. They knew. I never imagined that I would be on the other end of that stick. I started out, I'm serious, dude. I started off, me and my brother, when we was kids, we always thought we gonna have our own business. And it got to that point in our lifetime, we got our own business and we worked that business. Well, man, I tell you, it is a humbling. And I tell you, if your mind is not right, it would have turned out a whole different way if your mind is not right. But I took it with a grain of salt. I'm like, hey, I didn't always have money. And things went the way it went. They attacked what was it? 2022, they started attacking the tech world. I didn't think it was going to hit me as hard, but when I started seeing companies and department stores and restaurants shutting down, those were my clients. I said, "Oh yeah, this is it's on a whole different level now." Because me, in my line of thinking, I'm saying this is communication. The world needs communication. The world just showed me something totally different. Yeah, we need communication, but we don't need the communication that you're doing right now because we got something planned for this system. And they did just that. They did it. They went in and did what they needed to do. And I pressed on with Quest Unite Africa. And we just kept on rolling with it right up to this very day. And this is just not. This is nothing personal. We are looking at a people, and without matter of fact, we talked to this other brother about 3 weeks ago. They're not, or what you may call like a part of Israelite group. They're not, but they are of African descent, and they have this thing that they're putting together where they want to do business with other blacks, especially on the continent. They have a sister here right now that's doing a survey on businesses for them to do business here in Tanzania. We're not, so Question United Africa is doing what we need to be doing according to the Most High's will. And there are people out there doing things for the Most High, don't even realize that they're doing it. They're putting things in place. They're seeing changes in this world. They're seeing the continent. They're seeing these leaders kicking out people who have been causing mayhem through our generation. They calling them out and they kicking them out. This is the reason why we seeing what's happening right now. But mostly because you Negroes woke up in 2019. And with that awakening, the world went down a slippery slope, and they keep speeding up and speeding up. It's not they don't have no brakes because somebody put some oil on that slide. They in warp speed right now. And that's where we at. I mean, we woke up and we have a better understanding about a lot of things, including ourselves.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of it. And we're are trying our best to live up to who we really are. And that's the beauty of it.
Yep. We're moving. You know, it's without giving all the details. Yeah, we're moving. There's a lot of things that's moving behind the scenes. So now we just have to sit here, patiently wait, and really go from there. Your support is always needed, family. Your support is always needed, especially on this channel, Covenant Awakenings, with what Mike does, Africa Logistical Agency. I'll put Brother Mike's Cash App on out there too. It's not in vain. We're not blowing smoke. We're literally on out here doing what the Most High is calling us to do. And let me tell you, the way that we are able to seriously impact things. There was something the other day of a consultation that Mike had booked. And I said, that's awesome, Mike. I said, don't you have contacts there in the place that he wants to that he's trying to go to look at doing business? And Mike's like, yeah, I do. I said, so Mike, get in touch with your contacts. Mike,
and come to find out this contact, he knows the Minister of Health. Ain't that something?
I'm like, had to jog Mike's memory. I'm like, man, you already knew the Minister of Health of this country. Oh my goodness. He's like, Karis, I sure did. You just had to laugh. We just had to laugh. Because we go at 100 miles an hour, and then there are times we have to just really focus in on the resources that the Most High has given us. Not all the time are we going to have monetary resources. That's just not that's not going to happen. Not right now, not right away. But truly, the resource that we've had all the time and that we really capitalized on, that's what the Most High's grace has been, the connection with the people. Think about this. When you're working in their companies, when you're working in their jobs, and you're working in their positions, what do they have you for? They know that you're going to get the job done, but they have you there as a cheerleader. Because why? Because we're always there to do what? To promote a better mood. Everybody's in a bad mood, but we joke with about that. We make light of it. And then when we take that negative situation, we turn it around. And we actually turn it into a positive, and it becomes a whole lot better than what was being perceived by them. So imagine when you're able to do that for the Most High. When you imagine when you're able to work for the Most High. Yeah, he's not going to give us everything we want all right away. No, 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 no. Because there's a mindset that has to be tamed. there's a mindset. In order for where we are at right now, in the position that we're at right now, we literally had to reprogram our Babylonian brains, as Red would say. We had Babylon brain, all of us. And we had to literally go to the core and start ripping out the ugly of Babylon. That was hard because you had to do it at the board, and then you had to do it with the leaders, and then you had to do it with our volunteers. And I thank the Most High that he did it that way, because now when we're able to go to the continent and do the mission that he needs us to do, we're now spiritually equipped to handle the situations that's going to occur, because we're not going to look at things as an obstacle that's too big to overcome. We can now look at something and say, hallelujah, thank you, Father, that we get a chance to start moving this mountain. One scoop at a time. You move a mountain with a spoon, yeah, it's going to be a little bit, but guess what? When you start to get that edge at that bottom, when you start to knock on out that bottom, guess what? Big chunks of that mountain start to fall. Big chunks of that boulder starts to fall off. That mountain starts to move. It does. But while that mountain is moving, guess what? The Most High is working on us. He's moving us. He's revealing us to ourselves. Oh, that is the hardest part. When the Most High has to show you you. But I thought I was perfect. I thought it was this. I thought it was that. I thought, no, 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 no. You thought wrong. And as we have moved in this, there's been a lot of gut checks. Not just with me, but with our people. What are you here to do? What are you here to contribute? What are you here to learn? What can you teach? See, what we didn't know in this time, in the current state of affairs, is that everybody is going through something very, very uncomfortable. And that's okay, because that's the way that the Most High wants us. You can't grow if you don't have a little bit of stress and pressure. You can't heal if you don't have a little bit of stress and pressure. And what we're doing, we're growing and we're healing every day.
And I just said that Yahuah should learn obedience by the things from the things that he suffered.
Mm.
Same thing. Did I say that? Did I quote that scripture correct?
I don't know. Well, I'll take a look.
Learn obedience by the things he suffered. I think that was it. I think that was it. Yeah. I mean, there were some things I did not know, but hey, now you know. You learn from it. But we're at a different time now. You know, that's a good thing.
But it's obedience. Look, as long as you are trusting and you're obeying and you're learning his past, you're learning his ways. This is what we're all doing. We're all learning. We're all learning. Look, the Most High will let us know. He'll put us on that path. We just have to trust him. Don't think that you're gonna get on in here and you're gonna do it right. No. You're gonna go through some missteps. You're gonna go through, man, I had an opportunity to do that, but I messed this up. All right, Father, I'm sorry, forgive me. But it's each day, it's each trial, it's each opportunity that the Most High gives us to make it towards towards perfection. So no one's gonna be perfect, but that journey towards perfection is a big one. That's one that we do all day, every day, until we finally make it to perfection. And that's when our spirit man, our Ruach, finds rest. So while we're here doing what the Most High needs us to do on this side of the grave, there's a lot of work we got to get done. But again, we're a community. And this is really the final this is the final stretch. I can firmly say that this is the final stretch. I can confidently say that. So family, we need your prayers, we need your support. We're coming up here in the season of the Feast of Trumpets and the Day of Atonement. Sister Shara and I have an event to promote on Tuesday. This upcoming Tuesday, that would be Tuesday, September 3rd. We'll announce the event, the ticket sales, and it will be worth it. Because this art of diplomacy, it is practicing what you preach. Because everybody will be put to that test. Will you pass it or will you fail it? We shall see, family. With that, Brother Mike and I have to get some work done for real. Hallelujah. All right, family. Brother Mike, any final comments?
Continue to pray for one another. Always find yourself blessing your brothers and sisters. Yahuah, he loves these people. No matter what they look like, he loves them. And I think it's imperative that we follow suit, because Yahushua said, if you offend one of these little ones, it's best you tie a heavy piece of concrete around your neck and cast it into the sea. And just letting you know how much he love us, and we need to love one another. That's my closing comment. And keep your head on the swivel.
Mm-hmm. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So with that, family, I will be back on Tuesday, September 3rd. Tuesday, September 3rd. If you haven't gone to get a copy of this book, I'm telling you, you may want to get yourself a copy so you can start to really understand what's happening in the background, what we're doing. It is truly amazing, family, how the Most High puts you in these places. It's not just all talk. It really isn't. So when you see these things going on, oh, that's what that brother was talking about. Yep. Go and get yourself a copy today. The Rise of Africa, the Continent, the Diaspora, and BRICS. The Continent, the Diaspora, and BRICS. It is on Amazon. I have that link posted in the chat. Continue to support Mike and I. I just had that Cash App for Mike and I. He's doing some awesome things on the continent, family, as he is truly enduring the struggles of the rainy season. You can keep up with Mike this afternoon at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where he will be talking to you about the many opportunities that he is working through with the Africa Logistical Agency broadcast that is only on Quest to Unite Africa. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Quest to Unite Africa. I'm telling you, family, things are about to start getting really, really, really busy to where you may only be seeing me on Quest to Unite Africa. A lot of things are happening in the background. So, family, also your prayers are needed. Continue to support Quest to Unite Africa by visiting us. Here is the link provided. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. Check on out Sister Shar's Law for Love channel. Law for Love channel. That is on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. In order to build a nation, you got to build a family, because the family component makes up the nation. It took 400 years to destroy the very essence of family, and now we have to build it back up. Thank you, Zakiah Israel. Yep. Please, when you buy the book, I'm asking you, please leave a comment. Please leave a comment as this burgeoning author. I am getting ready to promote the book. I just only been promoting it here for this platform, but I'm going to get ready to promote it across the YouTube and social media spaces. So be on the lookout with that advertising campaign. This really is for our people. And family, I can't even begin to tell you all these awesome opportunities that we're getting ready to have open up. I'll put the channel in the link for Sister Shar, so you can get on over there right now and subscribe to that channel. Oh yeah, 70% complete. Yeah. Listen, I don't like to brag on myself. I told you I don't like to brag on myself, but for that first book, I thought that was pretty good. I was like, Father, I said, thank you for this. I said, thank you. I said, thank you, Father, because, it was a good flow. Sometimes you'll read like some really, really boring things. No, I don't like that. I like to look, if I'm going to show you this, I want to break this down and give you those visual components. What does it mean? What does it look like? Because at the end of the day, we're going to be talking to our brothers and sisters on the continent, whether you like it or not. Whether you want to call them Hamites or not, that's going to be up to you. But when you're building a relationship now, guess what? It becomes a lot easier in the future. It truly does. So, family, that's all I have in my marketing campaign. I think Brother Fast Nickel will be very proud. He told me, like, no, there's a format, Brother Karras. You got to do this. Oh, but that's really the team that we have. That's the people that are engaging in the background. Don't think that we are really moving. And it's exciting that to see when we all come together and we start to work with one another and enjoy one another and what we bring to the table. It really is it's a great thing to witness. So imagine seeing this on the land, in the land, with when our people truly come together. It is. It's Hebrew excellence. It is, Brother Eric. It is. So I put the link for Sister Shar's Law for Love every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She is on live. Understand the techniques and the tools to rekindle your relationship and to prolong your relationships, your marriage. These are some awesome resources, family. And we're a community that's doing this. A community to establish a nation. A community to establish a nation. Let that one sink in. So with that said, family, most high willing, I'll be back on Tuesday. You all have a blessed rest of your week, a blessed Shabbat. And I'll catch you on Tuesday. And listen, if you didn't know that, you are blessed. You are blessed through the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I am, you are, we all are. As long as you know to call on his name, that's it. There's your power. There's your authority. Not in you being an Israelite, not in you being a Hebrew, but in you knowing who you are through Yahushua HaMashiach. So with that said, family, I got to go. And with that, shalom, salama, fiyemi, shalom, peace and blessings. Yasharel.